No, that sounds bad. Don't use that one. Don't use that one. But yeah, so how's everybody doing? You guys just finished taking care of a big problem for Dugan's Hole. You got one of you, whoever decided to take them, got some interesting boots, and nobody wanted to take part in the challenge that was, the hagfish drink off. But sometimes the DM rates things up and people don't want to do it, so it's how it is. Doesn't matter. So how are you guys doing? What do you want to do? What's going on?
We're in long rest, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, the way that we left it last time was like the bard finished singing his song, and we all faded to black, and everybody went to bed and got a good night's sleep, and everybody's back basically.
Oh, nice. I guess I don't know. Do we want to? Hey, team. Do we want to look at the map? We don't. Okay.
No, that's bullshit.
Well,
hold on. I was just pulling the map up so people can look at the map.
You want us to actually plan?
Well, we always plan where we're going. What happens when we get there? Then it just is a fucking, a roll of the die. And for this game, yeah.
So just for shits and giggles, you guys have been to Lonelywood. You took care of a moose. Tourmaline, you took care of a mine. Bryn Shander, you took care of some goblins. Goodmead, you took care of some bees and some giants. Dugan's Hole, you took care of a giant mammoth that you didn't have to fight, but that you did. That, by the way, the amount of experience points that thing was worth was yet another reason why I was like, yeah, we should talk about leveling up. We should, because it was a lot.
When did you say that? Because we're the ones that keep bringing up the level up. You're like, no, not yet.
Well, no. Here's the thing. And I think I said this. I think I said this last week. Is that, like, this adventure is written with a milestone basis where it does not anticipate that the characters are going to fight everything, but they're going to figure their way out. And you guys are like, we're murdering everything. And so I'm like, okay. I mean, that's fine.
Excuse me. We did figure it out, and then we decided to murder it, okay? Let's get that straight. We aren't just murder hobos going in there with the thought of killing everything. We go in, figure it out, then go back and make it difficult.
Touche. I'm sorry. You guys are only partial murder hobos. That's all. However, as far as the map goes, you guys have taken care of Goodmead. You've taken care of Dugan's Hole. You left a sizable amount of sheep and goat at Dugan's Hole that clearly belonged to the people that lived at Dugan's Hole, but were like, these are ours. Take care of them for us. Just the thing.
Wait. How is it clear that they belong to the people of Dugan's Hole?
They were clearly stolen from, like, the traders of the town. That's what the giants were doing. In fact,
You mean Goodmead?
In Goodmead, yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, you left them back in Goodmead when you left Goodmead to go to Dugan's Hole.
Yeah, they're with Roger.
But, anyways, couple things to cover just so that we touch base. Bremen, you guys know that they're having problems with a lake monster. Targos, that's where the Black Bishop lives. Something that was said by the coaxed lips of the people that you dealt with that tried to take over Goodmead.
Oh, I didn't know they were on coke.
Yeah, they were super drugged up, man. You failed.
Is that what the winter is?
They were super drugged up. Targos.
Do you know the street value of this mountain?
The mountain is amazing. But wait, before we go down that path and somebody goes, Cocaine. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Dr. Roxo loves Targos. So Targos is the closest settlement to the Kelvin of Cairn, or Cairn, I should say the Kelvin of Cairn, or Kelvin Cairn, however you say that. I don't know. The mountain, Kelvin Mountain.
How is Targos the closest?
So we have talked about this, and this map is bullshit. That's what this map is that whoever drew this map was like, hey, let's put it all together. But in fact, this mountain is like kind of right here, and then all of that, like here, is much more spread out kind of thing. But you know what? It's kind of like when you look at like a 1600s map of America, and it's like Florida is the size of Africa.
Don't worry, okay, I've got it.
Or when the federal government contracts it out to a third party.
Exactly. Hey man, draw us a map, and it comes in, and they're like, we have to turn something in. Let's just use it. All right. You guys also know that East Haven, right here, which is the next stop if you leave Dugan's Hole, you basically Goodmead, East Haven, and then wherever else you want to go. East Haven is going through some stuff and things. In fact, you heard some rumors about them burning a wizard, and you may have heard some other things. If nobody knows them, maybe you'll have to make a intelligence check. But you know that there's some stuff and things going down in East.
Did he turn somebody into a newt?
No, he murdered people. The wizard murdered people. But maybe then they turned into newts, and then they're super upset about that.
Well, on the positive side, he did die warm.
Well, no, they haven't done it yet. The plan is to burn the wizard. They haven't done it yet. But you've heard about that.
Okay, he will die warm.
You've got Caer Dineval and Caer Konig up here as well, which are additional towns that are sort of additional outliers that are there.
There's some invisible jerks at Caer Konig, and there's some other things if we wanted to check up there for Loki.
So Loki knows that there are some invisible jerks at Caer Dineval, but also that there are some invisible jerks maybe at East Haven and at Caer Konig as well. Portal. I couldn't read the word on the map, and what is that? Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking it's like I might have to get that and put like a background on it so that it has something.
No. Like I had to squint. Like I'm like, wait, that's not just a line. What does that say? Yeah. So yes. The Targos, Kelvin portal. Yes, that's a thing. Yeah, there you go. But. So you guys have a full night's rest. A couple other things to consider. It is swiftly approaching the new moon, and as far as local knowledge goes, on the eve of the full moon, the day of the full moon, something around the full moon, depending upon the settlement or the 10 towns location, that is when offerings to Oral occur. It depends on the settlement. It depends on sort of several things. But basically, if a sacrifice, whether it is human, like humanoid, whether it is food, whether it is like a source of heat or something, these things are offered on either the eve of, the day of, the day after, etc. But like somewhere right around the new moon. That's when these sacrifices are done, made, offered, etc. That's one thing. The next thing that you also recognize, and this is specifically to Ziada, is that you are basically a day or so away from the start of your 30-day countdown that you received as far as a respite when you talked to the spirit in that cave.
Well, it was 3 months, correct?
It was 3. Yeah, it was 3 cycles. Okay,
yes. Yeah, But yeah, because that was about to start. All right, cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. Like basically the start of the first cycle. You're like You're basically a day away from the start of that first cycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were saying it starts, in a few days. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Not 3 days, as in like,
left...
oh, it's only $2, $2.99. Fuck you.
Well, so you guys left Goodmead. You went to Dugan's Hole. You took care of Dugan's Hole, and you rested a night. So like a day has moved forward, basically.
Right.
And so with that in mind, you're that much closer to the start, kind of thing. So of that sort of countdown clock. That being said, I think. Is there anything else that you guys have come across that you have questions about, concerns about, thoughts about, like maybe you need a little more information? I mean, it could require a roll, or maybe as the DM, I'll admit that I haven't given you enough. What are you guys thinking about doing next?
I believe that the plan that we were considering when we ended was to round everything up and head back to the inn, and then decide what the next course of adventure is going to be.
So I will say that I think you guys did that. The whole like the end of last episode with like the bard singing to you was in the inn in Dugan's Hole, because the inn was the cut shop, which was like that.
No, not Dugan's Hole's inn, our inn.
Oh, all the way back in Tourmaline? No, Lonelywood. Sorry, in Lonelywood?
It's only 50 feet.
It's only 50 feet. Exactly. Yeah, it's only 50 feet.
Yeah, so we could be there in half a day.
Hop the portal.
It might be a little longer than that.
Then just trek across.
If you go through the Targos portal, it might be quicker.
4 Ziada.
4 Ziada.
Plus the line.
I think at one point or somewhere, Kevin, you had provided us with an updated like travel time map. Was that with like like either a sled or an axe beak, or was that just rough?
I don't know. Someone else did the work, and I just saw it's like, oh look, this seems simple, and then I didn't really look at it.
Yeah, it basically like that spreadsheet that I had created. They just did it in a map form.
Yeah, like visually, it's like, oh, okay. So I'm not sure. I would assume it's probably like, I don't know, snowshoes, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the actual like time frame, but it's like, if it's like.
Well, so I will tell you guys this, like as I open the book and go to the wrong page, as is. What I do. Come on. Okay, so the trip with Axebeaks from Goodmead to East Haven is roughly 2 hours, and then the trip, I'm going to say if that's the case, the trip from Dugan's Hole to Goodmead is probably a half hour with your axe beaks at best.
Changing the subject just a little bit. Looking at the map that was just posted, I still don't see how Targos is the closest to Kelvin's Cairn.
Again, the map is drawn incorrectly.
Where is our oil, our well oil?
It's with us at Dugan's Hole.
Yes.
Okay. Where is the star node metal stuff? With us in Dugan's Hole?
The what is it?
The weird metal stuff that we've got.
Yeah, we definitely all took that.
Wait, I have to ask, like, I can't remember. Did you do that, or did you leave that with the sheep and goats?
We talked about it, and I was checking my inventory, and I had enough that I could carry it myself if needed. So I did want to make sure that we had that specifically. but then we left the sheep and like the other whatever stuff.
Okay, I will say with that Novakri, you did not have a weird dream last night while you were sleeping, even though that you were in proximity to the metal.
Okay. So how much would it cost for to hire a sled or something to tote everything to Lonelywood?
I will pull up the cost right now. Give me 1 sec.
I mean, is that something you want to consider?
Yeah, what are you thinking? Getting a sled for just like all the stuff?
Yeah, everything. The mead, the oil, and the metal that you've got there. Just everything into Lonelywood.
Yeah, the metal was only so much, so I've just been kind of like carrying that on like my person. You know, I think we even talked about if we needed to, we could separate it amongst people, but it was something where I just had enough. But either way, then I think the biggest thing that we're gonna have to deal with is the whale oil, because then I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that the meat is gonna get delivered to us.
Oh yeah, no. As far as that goes,
Not
that
sure
arrangement's been made. You don't have to deliver it. Like your arrangement with the druids of the Good Mead Meadery is that they're shipping it to you.
All right, cool.
But as far as price goes, an empty dog sled costs 20 gold points, or gold points. God damn it, gold pieces. But a sled dog, which uses the wolf stats, like a basic wolf stat, it costs 50 gold pieces and can pull 360 pounds.
And we've got 500 pounds of oil.
Yeah, and so basically, if you would need, in order to pull with for long distances without rest, you would need somewhere to pull that. The sled could carry it, but you would need somewhere between 5 or 6 wolves, and then you could pull for a couple hours without having to stop for a rest.
Okay. Is there a
You also have the opportunity to try and sell said oil in Dugan's Hole or Goodmead or wherever.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. What's the market value for it here in Dugan's Hole?
So like, I mean, I could roll a thing where you guys have to haggle and do whatever, but I'm going to go with there is a set price tag that's associated with that, and that is what you guys discovered. So
700 gold each? Nice. That's
what
I remember.
No. Hold on.
I'll check the
An intact barrel of whale oil weighs 500 pounds and can be sold in 10 towns for 50 gold.
All right. So we're going with just the 200 gold on that.
So yeah, I mean, you could sell all the oil here in Dugan's Hole, get your gold, buy your sled and your sled dogs, or several of them, and then load that up with whatever else you got. And then, or if you don't load it up, you could always load it up later on when you get there.
No, I think the big concern was the oil, and if we sell the oil, we don't have to worry about the sled dog.
Yeah, not yet, at least. So yeah, I think we just sell it off here, because sure, and then see what we want to do from there. Now that we're kind of a lot less burdened. The only thing is, what do we want to do with the sheep and goat and stuff?
The sheep and goat. You feel. You know what? No, I'll just tell you. I'm not going to make you roll for it. You guys could easily market them back to the town. It's kind of a bitch move to make if you guys are heroes, but maybe you could make an offer to them.
We were heroes. They would have elected us. Fuck them. They cost themselves this with the election.
The reason we're charging you so much because you guys suck.
Well, the only way we can do it is because we're here.
You get it. Asshole tax.
It's called the AT for a reason. Hold on. There is a price tag to it, so hold on one sec. I will tell you what it is. There is.
The other option is we could always track these guys all the way up to Lonelywood and give them to Zahir. Have him take care of them. I don't want to know what he's doing to keep up with us in level, though.
I will say that you guys have so you have 7 goats and 6 sheep. They're all healthy. I will say that each of them will go for, like, if you want to be real bastard and sell them, like, you can get a gold for each of them. So that would be 7, 6, that'd be 13 gold that you can get for them. And the town will readily pay to livestock.
I just say we give them back.
Well, yeah, now hearing that, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you guys can.
There are no barrels of oil, I'll tell you that.
Right.
They're not.
Well, clearly.
Until we stuff them in the barrels of oil and resell them.
Until we soak them in oil, and then they're oil goats and
right.
Oil sheep. Yeah.
What's the going rate for oil sheep?
We could use them as a cannibal on a catapult, light them on fire, and they become incendiary devices.
Yeah, then they're milk bombs because they have goat milk. Sheep
there
milk.
You go.
But anyway,
so yeah, not huge. I guess we could just give those back then.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you guys want to do that, like the town appreciates you enough for taking care of the giants that they would pay you for them. If you wanted to be that way. If you wanted to be unanimous about it too, then so be it. I'm just letting you know.
Thoughts? Anyone? I was easily convinced.
How much money is it going to cost us to cart them back? And I just say, yeah, just give them back. Cut our losses.
I just imagine this whole role played out City Slickers scene where all of you are on the back of axe beaks rounding up your goat and sheep as you bring them back to Bryn Shander for the yearly drive kind of thing.
See, now I'm gonna start going with rolling. Man, my ass is swollen. Rolling.
Sheeps and goats are moaning, rawhide.
I don't want to know what you're doing with the sheep and goats to make them moan, so you can just keep that to yourself.
That's what they're like, man. They're moaning.
Like Catan?
Who had planes? Who had sheep?
All right, so what are we thinking? Where do we want to go? If we're getting all of our burdens off, we're getting paid for some of it. That's 50 gold each for right? With
Wait,
the
do
oil.
We still have the sheep?
We do if we want them.
All right, we just need a brick, a wood, and
and an ore.
And then we get our own settlement, guys.
Awesome.
Fuck. This map is kind of fucked up though, because 2 spaces away from any of these is gonna be fucking awful.
Yeah, building a road here is terrible. I mean, it's only
Right.
the dotted line, so
We will make them out of sheep.
we'll build a road out of sheep.
It'll be the fluffiest road.
It'll be the sheepiest road ever.
Well, we can turn a couple of them in. What are the ports?
Where are the ports? They're all frozen. Thanks to oil.
Lonelywood gets us, a good sheep trade.
Dear 10 Towns, who's got the best sheep trade?
Best or just quantity.
So yeah, so just because this is amazing, but along. So you guys trade and take care of what you want to as you kind of like leave Dugan's Hole, go to Goodmead. Actually, I don't know who took them. Who took the boots of Winterland, Winterkind, whatever it was?
I ended up with
Kevin did.
those.
Kevin got them. Okay.
The Winter
All right.
Wonderland boots.
All right.
I
Yeah.
don't
Winter
need-
Wonderland. So
I've
yeah.
got
So
mine.
I mean, you get back to Goodmead, and you take care of what you need to take care of there. Like clearly, the sheep and goats have been stored and taken care of, and the town's like, oh, you're giving us back to them. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Oh, you guys are pretty good. And then it's a bit of a hike to get to East Haven before you get on what's known as the East Road to get back to Bryn Shander, or you head north. I'm going to say that like you probably eat up the better part of half a day to get to East Haven. It's probably early afternoon by the time that you get there, if that's in fact what you're doing. I mean, if you're going to stop and sell sheep to buy boards to build a road through the forest, I mean, we can try to do that, but I'm guessing you're not going to do that.
Everyone load up Tabletop Simulator.
Everybody, TTS, let's do this.
I think that's the plan, is to go up to East Haven. I don't think there's really a ton left in Dugan's Hole or Goodmead for us, unless anyone has any thoughts.
Yeah. So the only thing that I will say, and honestly, I can't remember if the bard that came and sang to you at the end of last episode said this or not, but he had mentioned there were rumors and talks in that tavern, but one of the things that I think the bard was supposed to say was that his brother worked at the tavern in East Haven and was planning on divulging secrets, if possible, if the spirits allowed. And then kind of left that cryptically, because I think he was also trying to pay him to be your sort of minstrel and to sing songs of your valor. And you guys were like, you're a weirdo, get the fuck away from me. So, which is, I mean, your prerogative, so whatever. But he did share that.
Kind of secrets. I mean, is it something that we could actually use, or is just who in East Haven likes to wear ladies' underwear?
Chris, you read my mind so well. No,
Projecting.
if pressed, but if pressed, he would have said, my brother has a way of coaxing the spirits to reveal things that are unknown.
Okay, we still don't want to hire you.
And he goes,
I assume
that's
you
fine.
said-
He goes, he's fine. The first song, which is what you got last week, the rest is going to cost you. And then he just walks away.
Okay, so Cryptic Brother in East Haven. I know there's a few things that we could go to Bremen for over here. Click.
That's right. Bremen is there's rumor of some sort of lake monster, as well as the it's the location that the ring is from that Loki found in the Knucklehead Trout Head at the very beginning of this adventure in Bryn Shander.
Yes. And there's a pirate ship crew or something over that way.
Oh, that's true. That is, I had forgotten that you found that out. That is true. Supposedly, somewhere within a few hours of Bremen, along the coast of the Sea of Moving Ice, which is, you guys can figure out where that is because clearly there's a bunch of ice and water.
And it says Sea of Moving Ice?
Where it says Sea of Moving Ice. I mean, good clues there. I'm sorry. Good context clues there, Hrothgar. Sorry, let's not break immersion here. That there is a pirate ship that is stranded amidst the shards of ice-like ice.
Ice like ice.
Is it ice?
The ice
is it ice-like?
similar to ice.
Is it like ice? Who knows?
I can't believe it's not ice.
I can't believe it's not butter ice. I mean, what is it? I don't get it. Only the adventurous few that travel out to find out will know. Is it ice? Is it butter ice? Is it like butter ice? Who knows? And then to continue along, Targos, home of the Black Bishop, question mark, as well as the launching point for expeditions to Kelvin's Cairn, which previously members of your party, who are now no longer members of your party, were very opposed to going towards. Maybe because of ghostly possessions, but it's a thing. And then there is always the presence of some sort of unseen foe that seems to be plaguing the Caer Konig, the Caer Dinaval, and the East Haven areas. And before we move on, I have to show this. So like one of the things that I am like as a player / DM that I think is amazing in this game is that each one of the 10 towns has its own heraldry, right? Like has its own mark. And so Dugan's Hole has its own, and I think it looks cool, right? Like I'm like each look cool. But I happened to look at Dugan's Hole again as I was kind of like prepping for, or trying to prep for tonight, not knowing where people wanted to go. And after last week, when you found out about the where Chris immediately goes, wait a minute, do you mean brother husband? And I was like, nailed it. I just want to show you what their heraldry is, and because I immediately got kind of creeped out by after with that in mind. So let me just pull it up and I'll show it. Hold on one sec. Come on, is it all the way at the bottom of this, or is it? Oh, God damn it. I don't know where it is now. Sorry, I'll try to find it. But basically, like, it's got these two, like, pale-looking fish that once you realize that it's, like, this super inbred community, you look at and you're like, oh, I don't like this place at all. I don't like this place at all. Come on. Chain lightning. No, that's not it. Wilderness. Town hall. Oh, almost there. Where is it? Dugan's Hole. Oh, that's not it. Shit. Thought I had found it. You know what? I'll figure it out at some point. It's somewhere. But basically, it's got these two super like pale looking fish that are like looking at each other, and you're like, I don't feel comfortable looking at this image anymore. No thanks. No thank you. But yeah. So, are you guys planning on heading to East Haven? Are you planning on heading to Bryn Shander? Are you headed? What is the plan?
My vote is to head out toward Bremen and do the the missions in Bremen and Targos and the pirates and.
Sounds like a party.
That's my vote.
I hear no nay. Off to Bremen.
All right, it's gonna take a hot minute. In fact,
yes,
it might actually take you guys
a cold minute,
a day or so, or like 2 days almost to get there. So, is there somewhere that you want to kind of like lay up for the night, if that's the case? I mean, or are you just gonna push through?
I guess the thing would be either East Haven or Bryn Shander, depending on if we think we could get back in time to Bryn Shander. I think that would probably be our first option because we've been there before. So.
Can you guys see the thing I just uploaded on the map?
Fish Rock.
Yeah. Look. So knowing that it's a super inbred town, look at that and just go, yeah, it's kind of like it's telling us that. It's kind of like it's telling us that.
Well, you know, the family line is like a rock in that their features are very rock-like and emotionless.
In that that's
They've
what
been
all the
bred
fishes
out.
come from. Yeah. Again, like, if you didn't know that Dugan's Hole water place, you'd be like, that's kind of a cool symbology. Like, all right, neato. And then you're like, wait a minute, you're Brusband? And then you look at it, and then you see that, like, I just looked at it, it's like, ew, I don't like this place at all. I don't like this place at all. No, thank you. But, all right, so if you guys are in fact going to have like a stopover, where do you want to stop over? Do you want to stop over in Bryn Shander? Do you want to stop over East Haven? East Haven's probably going to be the first place you get to. Like I said, it'll probably be like late after by the time, like early to by the time they get there, after like taking care of like selling everything and moving on. It's a pretty clear day. I mean, you know, it never gets brighter than low light because it's where you're at. But it seems nice enough, and you can push through the Forbidden Wastes and get to East Haven easy enough without having to make any rules. Do you want to stop there, or do you push on?
And what time is it? And like, what's the East Haven to Bryn Shander time frame?
Yep, give me 1 sec. I will pull that. I will look at it right now. I just up in the book that I had open. So the trip from East Haven to Bryn Shander is going to take you roughly 4 hours, unless there's complications. And so if it's maybe like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, you're not going to get there until probably 6 or 7, depending, unless there's a complication, and they could be.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's terribly late. I don't think, right?
No, but I mean, like, if you guys want to pop in, if you sell any of the things that you've gotten, East Haven is definitely one of the towns that has more of a marketplace than others. It's also, it's also, like, I mean, I don't know what you brought that you sell already, etc. If you want to stop for lunch, just to, like, take a moment and eat something, just because, you know, like, I'm going to assume you guys had breakfast. It's not like I'm going to give you exhaustion for pressing on, but if you want to do some, like, once you get to East Haven, if you want, actually, I take that. Once you get to the crossroads that are right here, and again, this map's not perfect, but like right where like the crossroads happen right here, if people want to pause to like have some food, to maybe like do some perception checks or a survival check, weather looks like much the same as when you saw that storm was coming in when you got to Dugan's Hole or on the way to Dugan's Hole. Feel free to do so.
Yeah, does anyone have anything to sell? I assume I'm mostly turning at everyone, but then kind of directing my question mostly at Loki.
And Loki, for not to mention anything specific, for some stuff and things, you could probably find just as much of a East Haven as you could in for some stuff.
Only reason I would really stop is if we found an alchemist, because that's who would buy the Thrym at the highest bid.
All right, so I would, like, I'll tell you what, give me what you want to give me. Do you want to do an intelligence roll, local
sleight of hand,
wisdom roll? What's the matter?
Sleight of hand.
I want to give you a sleight of hand. I steal from myself.
Did I get
Deception.
So it would either be intelligence or wisdom. You have a skill that gives you additional bonuses to that. Take it and roll it. Tell me. I'm not on the right screen. Shit. What did you roll?
18.
18. You know that you would for Thrym, you would probably get the same sort of market that you would get in Bryn Shander as you would get in East Haven. East Haven's kind of the easternmost populous port in all of 10 towns. And when the lakes and the locks aren't frozen solid like they are right now, that boat travel creates East Haven as being this like really robust trading town that people like sail their goods in and then sail back out with, etc. As opposed to like the little remote towns that we make mead, we catch fish. East Haven's kind of like more of a trading town, and then like those trades inevitably work their way up to Bryn Shander. You know, the initial trading or mercantile locations that are in East Haven. Much like Targos is that same way on the western shore. But that being said, I have to take a quick timeout because I have to take a bathroom break. I will be right back.
All right, are we pushing on? Push on, get to Bryn Shander. Start destroying stuff.
Yeah, Bryn Shander seems like the biggest place, and we're not passing East. Wait.
We can, but I think it's a little out of our way if we're going to Bryn Shander, Targos, Bremen.
Alright, then I can hold on to it.
Also, did you tell us about that? Because I know, but does, Ziada?
Yeah, I think I would share it. I'm not gonna pull a little foot and be a greedy halfling.
Okay.
I'll be like, yeah, I mean, I found it, it's mine, but yeah.
but I mean, I got it, but yeah, you can have one. Oh, dude, what is this? Hamilton? It's nice.
What are you, smashing watches? Can I have one?
Tried
I mean,
to
they're
buy
mine,
that Cinnabon franchise. Sure. Just do drunk.
Oh, what happened to that?
Oh, that's so cool. I got a real cool cuds piece too.
You mean dildo? Strap-on dildo?
Jealous.
Screws you is all off. It's just fantastic sentences made by that man.
Just the first thing he does is just jealous. You're all
like
jealous.
He's correcting him. Yeah. Beautiful.
Fucking spectacular. Give him one more. Thank you. You're an angel.
Wow. That's always fun to come back to.
Yes. Give him
all
one
right.
more.
No! All right. So you guys... I'm sorry. So I walked away right in the middle of like everybody talking about stuff. So are you going to try and do some commerce in East Haven, or what is the plan?
I think we're skipping the eastern part, the northeastern part, East Haven, Care, Dinaval, and Koenig, going Bryn Shander, Targos, Bremen, as directly and more immediately as we can. No pits, no stops.
Okay, all right. So give me, whoever wants to give me or has access to a survival check, give me a survival check.
I got one.
And just in 5e, we all have access to it. I know you mean like proficient, but...
That's what I mean. I'm sorry. Proficiency too. Yes.
Yeah. It's strange getting like... Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
No. It's a good
saying,
correction. Like
but...
I was playing a game last night where like you literally don't have access to skills if you've never put points in them. So No, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there. If we didn't put points in them, there's not really a lot of options to add points into them. So like I'm like, for instance, I'm a wizard and I don't want to miss out on Arcana checks because I'm not proficient in them, but I have a +3 because it's just based off of just my intelligence. But like
Gotcha.
to not make an Arcana check, I would just be like, oh, there goes my wizard then, because that wasn't my
Exactly.
original class. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
No, exactly.
So that's why I just wanted to point it out. Be like,
No, good point.
please don't
Good
cut
point.
me off from all Arcana checks because I didn't, you know what I mean? So
Yep. So what I'm taking away from this is that's a great point. I'm never going to let you roll an Arcana check from now on. And no,
okay.
I'm kidding. So, okay, Novakri, unfortunately, you kind of look around and you're like, oh, it's a snowy, sucky wilderness that I'm stuck in. Loki and Hrothgar, though, you guys see that it looks. I mean, there's always the potential for storms, but it looks pretty clear. Like you can probably make it all the way to Bryn Shander without having to take refuge or do whatever. You do know that it will be dark by the time that you get there, and the darker it gets, the higher the probability of encountering, creatures and whatnot become as you continue along the east road, as it was, that runs from East Haven to Bryn Shander. But bearing that in mind, you should be able to make it to Bryn Shander. So you guys set off and start making your way there. And one of the things I think we've talked about before, but once it gets to like midday and you guys have already like passed that point, the sun starts to set again, because the sun never rises above like the half sun mark on the horizon, and that's why it's always this weird like low light or no light kind of scenario. But a couple hours in, the sun starts to sink again and it disappears, and as darkness starts to take over the shadows and they start to grow, the moon rises, and it's not a full moon. In fact, it's a waning moon that's almost completely gone, but it provides enough light that you can see the road in front of you. And I would like somebody to roll me a d20. Valkyrie rolls an 8. Let me just as you start to progress further down the road and you can see Bryn Shander on the horizon, you start to hear these shrieks and wails. It almost sounds like somebody in danger or in peril. And I'd like everybody to give me an intelligence check. An intelligence check or a survival check, whichever works better for you.
Is this what you had told me about?
I want to say no.
I was asking the party, sorry.
Oh, that's right, because you weren't part. Okay,
right.
Yeah, that makes total sense. But Loki, Novakri, Ziada, you guys all hear what are clearly the sort of like yowls and cries of a crag cat or crag cats, clearly trying to lure prey towards them, especially of the humanoid kind. But you know that is that's it. Either way is off the beaten path, and you've already
level.
You have already dealt with that bullshit once, and you're like, no thanks. And so you guys press on, and sure enough, you make it to Bryn Shander. As you get to Bryn Shander, the gates are closed. But I think that we've dealt with this already. You know the drill, that basically you can pound on the door, and basically a guard will sort of answer from either the ramparts or slide like one of those sort of like the classic, like underground club door, like face doors open and be like, what's the password? But instead is like, what's your business here? And you guys, I think that as he says that, the guard looks out and sees you all and recognizes you and says, "Oh, the heroes!" and like slams the door shut, and then like opens slams the little face door shut, and then opens the door opens up, and you're admitted into the city.
I'm imagining Wizard of Oz.
Novakri, the boss. As you guys come in, what is the plan now that you're in Bryn Shander? What are you doing?
About what time is it?
Late.
At this point, it's probably like 8, maybe 9 o'clock at night.
Well, at this point, then I think it's best to shore up our gear and find a place to stay for the night and figure out the business of things in the morning.
Everybody that's not Hrothgar and
Yes.
probably Ziada knows
Right.
that the North Look is like your spot, right? Where Scramsax, the barkeep, knows you guys and like always makes sure that there's a spot open for you. Additional things in the city that you're aware of. Over here, Black Iron Blades. That's the sort of retail shop for weapons and whatnot that you guys have worked with before. And where the hell is it? I know for a fact that I've got the turn order in place. And then over here, the House of the Morning Lord. That's where somebody got detotified. So there's that. And also the town hall, or like where the speaker's hall is right in the center of town. So I'm going to assume that you guys make your way to the North Look. Is that correct, or is there anything else you want to do?
That works for me.
Yeah, I think I would just be. Actually, the people who would know aren't here. So, yes, North Star or whatever.
Actually, that's a cool name for like a tavern pub too, the North Star, but the North Look. And the reason it's called that, I think we may have talked about it, is because like if you climb to the very top of the building, you can actually see the gateway that is to the north gate, aka the North Look. That's why it's called that.
Oh, that's cool.
You guys get there. As you guys come in, Novakri and Loki, give me perception checks. Just the two of you, please. All right. You guys both notice Scramsax behind the bar sees you guys come in and gives you like that like the classic like head nod, like, yeah, your shit's all set. Like, but then like pauses for a moment and kind of looks at you and like notices that you're traveling with like two new companions. Doesn't really recognize them and kind of like gives kind of like the slight like hand gesture, like come over kind of thing to like come talk to me.
Okay.
And so what do you guys want to do?
I guess we'll go over and talk to him.
Okay. So you guys go over and Scramsax looks at the two of you, recognizes the two of you, and sees like your new companions, kind of like kind of taking them in, kind of like, you know, like that sort of like once over, like assessing and whatever, and just kind of goes, I see you're traveling with new companions. That either means your party's growing or your party's shrunk. Either way, message came in from you, from Sheriff Southwell. I'm assuming one of you two should probably read it. No offense to the rest of you, but I only recognize them. And slides this like missive, this folded letter over to you, and it's got a wax seal that's pressed on it that has the symbol of Bryn Shander, which was probably one of the coolest ones that we've seen so far. It was the one with like the sheaf of wheat with like the deer antlers or the stag antlers coming out of it, and just sort of presses it towards either Novakri or Loki.
Loki can have it.
Okay.
All right.
I'll read it.
Yeah. So, all right. So you like crack the seal and open it up, and it's a message from Sheriff Markham Southwell, who is effectively the leader of the sort of militia here in Bryn Shander, and he says, "Word of your adventures has spread through 10 towns, and I am loath to ask you to help us more. But we've recently learned that there is a schism in several tribes of goblins in the area, and we feel you may be posed or poised to bring their problematic activities to an end. If you find yourselves capable of talking about this further, please find me in my office in the town hall.
Sure.
I crumble it.
Throw it right in the fire. You're like, fuck you, lawman.
No, I'd share it with Ziada and be like, do you think we would have time for this? It might be good to have this place on our side, considering it's one of the bigger towns.
They seem to be on your side to a certain extent already, although more favor can't be bad, especially as you're saying, in this bigger town. I don't know exactly the state of Bremen, so I don't know to say that we have time, but I don't know of anyone racing to stop a lake monster before us. And staying out of the water is kind of okay in my boat too.
That's fair. What are your thoughts, Hrothgar? Good talk.
Hrothgar just pawn in game of life.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I'm good with helping out.
Might be nice to fight some goblins. Sounds like fun.
Right? And there's also, so what does the letter say is going on?
To talk to them, because there's just some mischievous activities apparently, or negative activities going on. He didn't specify exactly in the letter yet.
So he basically says, just for clarification, he said, you're absolutely right. He says there's some kind of schism or goblin war or something that's going on that he needs help with. And you guys know that the very first thing that you dealt with in 10 Towns, beyond the initial things that brought you all together, was the Foaming Mugs quest, which was to go and bring back the ingots, those iron ingots, from a bunch of goblins who had stolen them. And if you guys remember that, when you guys fought the goblins, there was one goblin that got away.
So yeah, I'm up for that. Either way, we can see what this is. Head out, try and take care of this thing.
Okay.
Fan a tool.
Works for me.
Let's get the schism.
Schism. It's just a great word, isn't it? It's just a great, schism is just a great word because it looks like it should be schism. And do you know why I say that? Because that's how I used to read that word until my wife said, Tom, that's not how you read that word. And I've only known my wife for 6 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, did you not listen to the radio when, in late 90s, I think, maybe early 2000s with Tool? Schism.
So here's the thing: you're 100% saying you're calling me out on it,
right?
I just thought I knew better than the radio because that's how I operate.
Okay, yeah, fair. So I don't think we have any objections. I don't know if we want to go and hit this now. or if it's like too late, or if we just hit this first thing in the morning.
So right now you feel like, as far as like general office hours go, because
That's what I was
by
figuring.
the time that you've made it to the Northlook, it's probably pushing like 9:30. The office is closed, right? Like you're not gonna like go get like if you call in, it's just gonna be the voicemail that goes, "Please leave us your problem and we'll get back to you as soon as possible," kind of thing. So it would be like if you guys want to crash and then wake up first thing in the morning and go have at it. That probably makes the most sense. Unless there's anything else you want to try to do in the city tonight before that.
I think that's the plan. Unless anyone has something that they want to do, I think it's we're crashing and heading there, seeing what's up.
Yep.
I'm good with that.
Sleep away.
All right. Cool. So you guys all find your bit, like the area that has been sort of marked off for you guys. Like heroes of the North don't sleep here. And it's nothing great, but it's like
until we get kicked out.
Several recently, somebody else comes in and they're
heroes
like,
of the North don't sleep here. We don't like your kind here. Wait, heroes?
What? I don't. Why are you so mad? But you guys, like, you find your area, you find a place to sleep, you take care of it, and like Scrimsacks make sure that you've got like there's wood on the fire and it's a nice it's comfortable as it can be to sleep. It's not the Ritz. It's definitely not the ramshackle / whatever you're gonna call it. But it's nice, and so you get a good night's sleep. Well, you get a good night's sleep except for Novakri. And Novakri, you suffer the same dream that you had last time. And as you wake up in the morning, I won't go into the sort of nitty-gritty of it again, but there's this sensation of sadness and loss and almost homesickness, like being so far away from what is home. And then there's like this shrieking sound that's like just like mentally piercing. And fortunately for you, you have this sort of buffer that is your sort of like soul self that you as your species have, and it kind of gives you a little protection from it. But as you wake up in the morning, you're not exhausted, like you're not going to suffer any damage, but you're exhausted. Like you just feel, it's like one of those nights where like, you fall asleep super early and you wake up the next morning, you're like, I should feel great right now, but did I get too much sleep? I don't know. And you've got this sort of like haunting, moaning sound in your head that just makes you know that somewhere out in the vast whiteness that is the sort of like unknown regions of Tentown right now, or Icewind Dale, there's something that's calling to you. And then everybody kind of wakes up and like the day starts and everybody's going to do their thing, but that kind of lays heavy on your mind as the day starts. Okay, so the day starts. Do you guys grab breakfast? Are you going to try to burn the Northlook down? Like, what are you guys doing?
I'm kind of freaked out because I don't normally dream. So having a dream in my head during that is, kind of freaky.
Well, not only that, but a dream that's repetitious, a dream that you have had once before.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a little distracted this morning.
Okay. Give yourself a -10 to everything you roll. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. You're fine. You're absolutely, like, it's that thing, right? Like when you, so just as like a quick, like anecdotal comparison, like several years ago, my wife and I had sort of just moved in with each other, or I'd moved up to Maine and moved in with my wife, and I was in bed and my wife went to bed, and I was up watching television, like just Late Show or something, and my wife had been asleep for like an hour and a half, and all of a sudden she sat up, like just bolt upright in bed, turned towards me, eyes open, and said, "There's someone in the room," and then shut her eyes and went back to sleep and started snoring. And I went, well, I guess I'm not going to sleep for the next 16 hours because what the fuck was that? And so Yeah, so I feel that you're somewhere in that zone right now where you're just like, I don't know what that was, but I don't know if I'm ever going to sleep again because
Hey,
why did that
honey,
just happen?
is this someone the demon that's living inside your subconscious or something?
Yeah, like
Is this
but
Ghostbusters?
yeah, I can't even ask questions because you're asleep again. Why? What just happened? Oh, I left out the part that she turned the light out before she went to sleep. So I was in the dark room by myself, just dealing with that
there's
shit. And I'm
there's
like, what
someone
the
in the
fuck?
room.
Yeah.
Click.
It's like there's someone in the room and you turn the light off. So now I can't see them.
Meanwhile,
Awesome.
it's like
Yes.
best case scenario. All you're hoping is, I hope she means me. Because
I
I
really
really
hope
hope she doesn't mean someone else.
Did she remember any of it?
Well, so the next day she's like, I remember waking up, but I didn't do that. And I was like, there's no freaking way I just made this up because I haven't slept. So, yeah, can you never do that again? Because that would be too soon if you never do that again. But anyways, so you're kind of freaked out like that, you know, and but at the same rate, you're like, you know, the day's got to go on, life's got to go on. We got to keep this train wreck moving. So you kind of like you take a deep breath. You kind of have that sort of aside, and you're like, we're gonna figure this out. Kind of bullshit. Do me a favor though. Are you carrying that metal that you got from the Verbig, or who is carrying that metal?
I've got most of it. I thought Novakri had like a piece.
That's
Unless
right.
she
I seem
just
to
tossed
remember
it
you.
with
She
the
said,
rest.
she said she took some of it. Do me a favor and just hold it in your hand and give me a survival check.
Ouch. Oh, I thought I rolled a 1.
I can't see anything yet. What did you roll?
Shows a 10 on.
Does it? Like
Roll
I'm still
20.
looking at a 22, and then it says Loki's typing.
Yeah, you're a little behind.
20.
Well, so
Oh.
it's maybe. I mean, my screen could be frozen too. So
Yeah,
like, what
I
was?
think it might be.
All right. So what was your total? Novakri, what was your total?
My total was 10.
10. So a 10 is enough to realize that like you're like maybe there's something I can do with this like what can I do, and you're kind of like milling it over in your head and you're like, I mean, I've got this piece of metal, how can I, and then maybe it's something that you remember as far as like some divination magic that you might have thought of, or maybe it's something that like you're like, I don't know, like maybe like your brain, like your synapses just make some connections and you're like, you kind of take out your dagger, right? And you take a shaving off of one of the stones or the pieces of metal. Like it's malleable enough that you can just like take a little piece off and you drop it into like a little like a cup with some water in it, and just like a compass needle, it starts to spin around a bit, and then it stops and it fixates on a direction. And you realize it's not pointing like true north, so it's not magnetized. It's clearly pointing towards something.
Can I tell which way what it's pointing to?
So from where you guys are in Bryn Shander right now, I believe it would be pointing northwest. But as far as like what it's pointing towards beyond that, it's pointing towards the northwest. You're not sure. But you know that this piece of metal that clearly has been affecting you since you came in contact with it, is also now potentially giving you like a guide towards something.
This means something.
This means war. All right, so that being said, Nuvakri's having some like self-revelatory moments. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Eating breakfast.
Rothgar, I would picture nothing short of that. I'd like bacon. All the bacon, please. So
Yeah, very much.
Wait,
so
I'm not sure that you heard me. I think what you might have heard is bring me a lot of bacon.
No, what I said was bring me all the bacon.
So, Kevin, I'm not going to lie. There was a little part of me as the DM that was like, oh shit, did I not hear what he said?
Yeah.
And then you kept talking, and I was like, no, I knew where this was going.
I kind of heard that a little bit, and I was just like, okay, good. Tom thinks it's something else.
You got me for a minute. You got me for a second. You did. But yeah, so okay, so everybody settles down, has breakfast, and the plan is to go talk to the Bryn Shander sheriff, or to like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's the letter guy.
Yeah, that's who wrote you the letter. The name was, sorry, Sheriff Markham Southwell.
Everyone good? Full?
Not until they bring me all the bacon.
You realize that they've slaughtered like the 2 pigs they had left, and they're just like, we don't have anything. Like, are you even paying? Like, what are you doing?
Hey, we know that pigs only go for meh.
No, that's what the fun part about this is that sheep and goats go for 1 gold apiece. Pigs go for like 40 gold apiece. So
right.
You just gotta just start a swine farm. But all right, so you guys take care of breakfast and you square up. And I mean, again, like the cost is like coppers or maybe a silver total, and like you take care of it. Like I'm not don't worry about marking off costs for that. And you progress towards the center of town. It's maybe like 7:30, 8 a.m. It's pretty early, but like start of the day for most businesses and whatnot. And you come into the town hall, and you see that as you come into this town hall, there's like a very segmented entryway in which like one side seems to go towards like offices and sort of like municipality type things. Like you can see people that are sort of dressed, maybe not regally, but like suits, right? Like it seems like people that are in suits are heading in, and then the other side you see people that are much more sort of like militia bound and whatever headed, and without having to make checks, you're like, clearly that's the side that we need to go to. So you go in, and there's like a sergeant behind the desk who's sort of sitting there kind of portly, and he's like, can I help you with something?
No. We walk away.
I just imagine, like, can you imagine if this is some critical plot point and you're just like, no, you just walk away and that's it. So all right, yeah, fair enough. All right. Oh.
Didn't you just do that? Why is it still fucking hitting?
I don't know. It just seemed right.
I know, it definitely did.
What do you do? No.
Fuck.
See you later.
Can I help you?
He says, can I help you? No. Does anyone besides Loki speak at that moment?
What about the letter?
The letter can't speak.
The letter starts talking.
It's just like the fucking Adventure Time where the book comes to life, but it's not the stories in the book, it's the literal book.
I was thinking like Harry Potter with like the Howler letter that just starts ripping into Ron for being a bad kid. Like so does anyone besides the letter or Loki speak?
We were requested by the sheriff.
This is Markham asked to see you. I'm gonna have to go check on that. Just stay right here. And sort of he gets down from behind his desk and kind of disappears behind some double doors behind him and whatnot. And you're there for a couple for a few moments. And that's sort of
I
like...
imagine in those moments, I look at Loki and just kind of give him a weird, like, question look, and I assume I get a shrug back. It's like, all right.
I also imagine in that moment, and Hrothgar, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you've immediately sniffed out that somewhere there's, like, in this cop shop, like a thing of donuts, and you're just already rating them. Like, you're just like, those are mine, kind of thing.
Sure.
And so
That sounds
shortly thereafter, he comes out and he's like, oh, I didn't realize who you were. Yes, Markham says he needs to see you immediately. Please follow me. And with like some undue pomp and circumstance brings you in to this office room that's very plain, but clearly is like a little bit more panache than the rest of the spots that you've seen that is like this sort of like police headquarters location of Bryn Shander. Like the desk has like just the vaguest like shine of wax or polish on it, although it's sort of beaten and gnarled and like gouged as it like, you know, maybe a fight happened here at some point or people bashed into it. The chairs are a bit like sort of hackneyed and they don't match the decorum, but like the sheriff kind of stands up as you come in and he looks like, and I always screw up this guy's name even though his name is so cool, he looks just like, is it Digimon? Who's the guy that's from like Gladiator and
Damon Hansu?
Is that's how you say it? Damon Hansu? Is that how you say his name?
No, I think it is Digimon.
I like Digimon better, but that's probably really just me not knowing how to say things. So, so he looks. Sorry, I'm back. He looks just like that guy. Like the only difference is he's got like a small goatee that has like whitened with age. You know, like just like the on the chin is black hair that kind of has like a whitish tinge to it, and he's dressed in clearly like, you know, these blue sort of almost like police garments, but like he also has cold weather gear that's sort of mounted on top of it, which is what everybody wears so that you don't freeze to death in the world that you live in. And he says, please come in and have a seat. I appreciate you coming back and responding to my letter as quickly as you did. I left it at the Northlook knowing that you frequented that place, but I didn't anticipate that you would come and talk to me so soon. He says, tell me, have you had any experience with the goblin tribes of the area?
We've had one encounter with them that I'm aware of.
He says, okay, well, it's the goblins themselves have been they've been a constant plague for all of the 10 towns. Just any trade, even before the sort of like the everlasting Rime started. But it seems that like as the cold continues and like their mountain domains get harder and harder for them to get resources, they're finding more and more reasons to sort of like harry and harm the trade that goes on between the 10 towns, and it's something we need to try to put a stop to. And I know this sounds like some pittance to talk to heroes such as yourself about. It's the minutia of running a town or trying to keep a town safe. But we received a letter from an unknown source, but from what we've heard from the people in the area, from both like the traders and the trappers, and from the harpers and several other groups that are here that sort of provide us intelligence to sort of keep us all going. It seems like there's some kind of faction split that's going on with the goblins. And that there's the potential to either break them apart permanently to give us some sort of permanent respite from their sort of aggressions, or there's a chance that they could unify. Beyond that, I don't speak Goblin, but the person that I have that's been sort of translating and sort of corroborating this for me is a young woman whose name is Schwen. She she can speak with you further if you so choose, but she just hasn't come into the office yet. So, like, I don't know what your plans are. I don't know what your schedule is. But if you would take a moment to talk with her, she might be able to provide you some further guidance. And if this is something that you can help with, I can't promise much, but I will make sure that the coffers of Bryn Shander provide you with some kind of reward for this. And a pregnant pause follows where no one speaks.
Well, she's not there, so.
So I will not speak with you until your counterpart is here, sir. And so he says, I mean, adventurers, please see free to do with yourselves as you see fit. I merely offer this as a potential another venture for people of your capacity.
No, it sounds interesting. We'll talk to her when she comes in.
He says, oh, all right. Well, I will send her to you. Could I maybe have my office space back?
No.
No.
When is it that we'll be able to discuss the details of this, of the information that you have? Because we have plans already, but they can be put aside depending on the urgency.
Well, I hope that she will be that she will be here shortly, but I don't know. I don't know. Like I anticipate that she will be in shortly, but like she hasn't called in sick. But again, like she's one of my sort of youngest analysts, and I hope that she'll be here soon. But I don't know when she's going to report in today.
Okay.
Okay, so are we just supposed to go like out in town?
He's please do what you will. If you're in 10 towns, like if there's is there a good way to get a hold of you as soon as she comes in?
Hey, here's my cell phone number.
Cell phone. Is that a magic device? I'm not sure.
He means sending stones. It's fine.
He's sending stones. Awesome. So he's just sort of he's a little perplexed, but he's like, I mean, I could send a runner to the Northlook to get a hold of you. I mean, if you want to leave someone here, or like if there's a good way to get up, like if you guys actually had sending stones, you could clearly leave one of those, but he doesn't have those. So
yeah, the end is a good spot as any.
All right. So do we want to just kill some time in Bryn Shander?
he says like heroes, please know that like, I mean, if she comes in the next 5 minutes and we can get this resolved, and you want to set off, feel free. I mean, like I am in no way charging you with this or to tell you when to do it. But if for whatever reason she's delayed and you have other pressing matters, I don't want to hold you from them.
Okay. So yeah, but she's definitely like anticipated and due in today, like in the morning, yes. Sort of thing. Okay. So yeah, I guess just send for us at the Northlook.
Okay.
Send a raven.
Send us a raven to a place that we won't tell
a raven.
Yeah, if it's not a I was gonna say raisin. If it's not a raven,
Yeah, actually, we
No, wait,
will
I'm
accept a
sorry.
raisin.
I was going to
but
say homing
it's a weird.
raven, but a homing raisin sounds way better.
Does it self-destruct after you read it?
It's no. Like you guys are just walking through Bryn Shander and you start hearing this beeping and you look up and there's just a floating raisin getting closer and closer to you. And then when it gets to you, it says a message and then it explodes. Like not enough to hurt anybody, but it just fucking explodes.
I was thinking at the end, it goes in your mouth and then it automatically makes the person it was sent to start chewing it. And as it chews it, that person is saying the message, but in a weird voice. Like they can't help it, and their jaw is just elongated, and it's just like and they're saying it all weird.
I'm saying right now, if all of your characters die, immediately all make artificers
The
and
California
spellcasters,
Raisins.
and you guys can just create a company called the California and take over the world with this messaging system. Like you don't have to fight anything; just work it out, figure out how to do this, and you'll take over the world. That's it. That's what it is.
We'll hear it all through the grapevine. Okay, enough being old.
Yeah. So is there stuff that you guys want to do in Bryn Shander, or are you guys just annoyed and you're going to take off and go do something else? I mean, he basically says that as soon as Schwinn comes in, he will send a message or send word to get hold of you, but that like you're not. Like he's not telling you, like don't leave because you need to do whatever. Like he's just like, I don't know why she's not here yet, but like whatever.
If there's anything that you guys need to do, if you need to find merchants or supplies or anything, I can go back to the inn and wait while you guys do that.
Yeah, I was just wondering if Novakri had any thoughts on this metal and if it could be used to make anything.
Well, it points somewhere. It just doesn't. It's not a compass. But I was going to talk to. Our blacksmith the brewers or whatever, and get his opinion on what the metal is.
All right. Well, I was thinking of kind of heading to the blacksmith anyway, seeing if there was anything in my price range, although that is a low price range. So, yeah.
So you guys can absolutely do that, and then Novakri, don't forget that you also have, for potential insight, you also have the House of the Morning Lord, the cleric, the shrine that you had attended as well.
Okay, I'd forgotten about that. No, we'll hit the blacksmith first.
All right, give me 1 sec as I pull up information about that because I don't remember everything about it.
Shitty DM.
About to say.
I think this is gonna be it. I'm done with this, guys. DM's obviously a joke.
Thanks, you guys are awesome. Oh, are you in Bryn Shander, a town you haven't been in the first night of adventuring? Oh, let me remember it. Okay. So in Bryn Shander, you have Black Iron Blades, which you have a sizable discount to anything at. I mean, it's a discount, maybe not sizable, but it is run by Garn, and Garn's sister Elza is who basically gave you access to some like minor magical stuff and things while you were there. You were looking for like a rod or a staff, and you saw some things. Effectively, they are smiths. So if you want to talk to them about something, please feel free to. And you come in, and they immediately recognize you. Also, there is Haruna, who is the dwarf that. Actually, I take that back. I think Haruna is the dwarf that hired you to take care of the Foaming Mugs quest. There is an additional dwarf, and I will have to look up her name. I'm going to say it's Fruna for now, but I can't remember what her name is, who had hired you to take care of or at least investigate Sefik Caltro. And as you come in, and Garmin and his sister are kind of like, "Hey, hail, well met, heroes! Come back in. Thank you for like coming back to our store." Haruna kind of steps out from the background and is like, "Any word on Caltro?" And she sounds just like a man, and her beard looks very manly.
What's this now?
Yeah, so Ziada, you probably have no idea about any of this.
Yeah, but you know who did? Fucking whoever I was playing.
The multi-named bard, yes.
Right.
But as such, there was a group of 4 people that came into the store that were part of that party, and Fruna is also an old and slightly blind dwarf, which is why she's not out there trying to take care of business herself. And she sees 2 people that are familiar of that, and that's why she barks that out. I guess we could role play out that whole thing, but instead I'm going to fast forward and just say effectively she's convinced that you guys all have like memory relapse syndrome and you can't remember anything, and explains that this nefarious dude, Sefik Caltro, keeps showing up whenever the towns provide sacrifices to Oral, and he seems to like kill someone who the popular rumor is somehow got outside of having to take part of the lottery for so East Haven, Bryn Shander, and I can't remember the other town, but there's 3 towns that provide like human sacrifices to Oral. Generally it's like a prisoner, but in Bryn Shander, like because Bryn Shander is kind of like this super democracy area, everybody gets the chance to pull a tile out of a vat, and it's like this repeated process where they're effectively, they're selected that way. But people who dodge it by like paying money or whatever, this guy Sefik shows up and the rumor is murders in the name of the Frostmaiden. And so Hruna, in order to like stop this, has basically had hired a vague to right this wrong, or to look into it, and if it is in fact true, to like stop this person who's like a minion of Oral. And a vague had said yes to it, but it was something that never got completed.
And now Ziada knows. So blue eyes going down.
Biggest question I have
cool,
right now.
Blue eyes. Yes, go ahead.
The most important question I have right now. Is it worth XP?
100%. It is honestly one of the starting quests that this game has. So I thought I was being I thought you guys would come across it much sooner, but the way it played out, you guys didn't actually interact or see Sefik for the first time until you had just finished taking care of the mines in Tourmaline. So it was one of those moments where, like, if you had interacted and defeated him in that moment, it would have been like 2 quick like quest completions. But you opted not to, which is a good idea because it could have killed you too. I mean, who knows? But
okay, yeah. I stopped listening after yes.
Thanks. You're an asshole too, but that's great. All right, go ahead.
Well, we put the A in 18.
But yeah, so definitely a quest. It is definitely a quest that's on the list. Is there anything else that you guys want to do while you're in the shop? So the question was, can they make something out of the metal? And Garn, my cat's name is Garm with an M. This guy's name is Garn with an N. Garn says, yeah, with enough time, I can clearly make you anything.
What is it?
I mean, it's metal. I don't know what it is. but it's metal. It can be crafted, it can be forged, it can be melted and reshaped. What do you want?
But it can't be destroyed.
Dun 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 dun. Oh my God, it's the Terminator. Yeah, no. So he like that comment makes him stop for a second. He kind of thinks about it, and then he just kind of goes, "I'll be honest. I don't know what it is, but it seems like it's forgeable. Seems like it's something I could make something out of, and it seems like it might give some additional abilities too. But that's the magic of the forge. Sometimes you just have to craft and see what comes out."
Okay, then I will ask to get some water from their quenching barrel and shave a little off of the ingot and show them the trick.
Okay, I mean, like you could even say that you had kept the shaving from the this morning prior when you had done it, and so like you throw it into a thing of water, and everybody kind of gathers around that wants to look at it, and like, sure enough, like the first thing that Garn says, he's like, "Oh, is it magnetized? Is it pointing north?" And then like as he watches it start to point further and further towards the I think it was northeast. If I said northwest, whatever it is, but it starts pointing further and further away from the true north. He goes, "That's not right. It shouldn't be doing that." And he goes, "Give me a moment." And he walks into the back room and he comes back with this like this circular piece of metal. And he says, "This is a lodestone. I know this is magnetized." And he puts it down next to like the little cup of water that the shaving is in, and you see that like it clearly starts to affect the shaving, and that the shaving starts to bend back towards it. And he's like, "See, this will straighten it out." And he goes, "Whoop, what's this?" And as it starts to bend back, all of a sudden it like shakes, almost like it starts to vibrate almost violently, and then it turns back again. You can see it like fighting against the pull of the magnet, and it continues to point in the direction that is not true north, but that's sort of like northeastern direction. And he says, I've never seen anything like this before."
As an aside, I have a reputation at work that whenever developers see me coming, they just head plant, because they know when I'm coming to them for help, I have exhausted everything, and it's going to be a brain fry for them to figure out what's going wrong.
Well, I think in this circumstance, rather than like giving him like a headache, you're actually just making him like full of wonder. Like I like to imagine that all dwarves, maybe that's probably racist to say, but I like to just imagine dwarves in general have this like innate need to craft and create. And when given the possibility of making something that's never been seen before, especially with like Garn being a crafter, like somebody who makes things, this is awesome, right? Like this is like Christmas morning. If you like to color and you get the fresh pack of crayons and markers, you're like, oh, kind of thing. So he doesn't know what to do with this, but he knows that he's excited about it.
Well, how about this? Can he fashion a ring with like half of the sliver I've got?
I would say for like I think you had, what was it, like 75 pounds of it, or not 75 pounds? It was something like that. Like it was something silly.
Yeah, I would say it might have been something like that. I know I like had to start clearing things out, and I realized I had duplicates of stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I think it was 80 or something.
Yeah, I think it was like 75, 80 pounds. So like I think if you left him like 2 pounds of metal just so he can figure out what to do with it, he can absolutely make a ring and then see what comes out of it.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Number one, if it's going to give him pleasure to work with something new, that may be brownie points for later on we can use.
He says, listen. I mean, this is a place of business, and I will make you something. So I'll have to charge you a little something, but trust me, it'll be next to nothing, because this is amazing, and I've never worked with something like this before.
Yep. And the second reason is I'm carrying the metal with me anyways, so hey, why not have a ring and free up a hand?
Okay, cool. Yeah, most definitely. The one thing I will say though, because it was a comment that was made as you guys were kind of leading here. How are you guys doing as far as cash? I would have thought that you guys were pretty like cash flush at this point from like the money you made in the mines, the money that like from some of the stuff that you've collected that potentially like if you haven't sold, you could sell now. Like, are you guys doing okay? Are you cash poor? Like, where are you guys at right
I think I'm pretty good. I think I need to check my inventory, but I'm up to like almost 100 gold, and I think Kevin's been kind of being treasurer over there. So
yeah, I know we all had like a bunch. The biggest problem for me is as Ziada, she hasn't had a payday, so I lost a Vague or Neck or whoever.
Well, yeah, but I also think that like whatever they had for like resources basically became party funds at that point.
Exactly. So those got split up to everyone. So we all had a good amount.
Like you guys basically had like a payday, bought axe beaks, took off, had to rebuy an axe beak or two, and then have just been making bank since. And so that like I don't need a total, but like yeah, there was a comment before about like not having money, and I think you guys have cash. Like I think you have cash. I just wanted to make sure that was the case.
I think we have cash to like live and maybe invest in like traveling, but like when it comes to items, like it's not like we can buy plate armor or anything like that.
It's not like hundreds of gold for each of us. It's like between all of us, it's probably around like 800, getting closer to like 1,000 maybe.
Okay, but so like as a group, you guys have access to maybe like this point. Okay, cool.
To what?
And yeah, and I know that like you guys are like cash is one of those things in this game that like because of the way that 5e is set up, you need a ton of cash to be able to get like stuff and things kind of thing. So like I get it. I just like there was a comment that was made before that like you didn't have money, and I really think you've been making money. Like I just want to make sure conveyed. So okay, cool.
I'm also going to leave a gold piece for his service because I know that ring is going to be worth more than a gold.
Okay, like he appreciates it. He's like, we'll talk payment later. But I mean, I'm excited to see what I can do with this. So just give me a few days and I'll see what I can do.
Okie doke.
So that goes down. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to, like so no flying raisin of information has shown up and gone into anyone's mouth while you're in Black Iron Blades. Does anybody want to do anything else while you're waiting?
If that thing is not magic, I am so going to create a backstory like my furry ring that it does something else. Maybe
it's just going to be another fake item. Nice.
Another fake magic item that I am convinced. Maybe because it does my dream stuff, it'll be like, hey, I can read people's dreams, or I can interpret dreams or something.
Well, I'm hoping that it's something that I can make a sword out of. So hopefully I can like stab people or slash them and give them nightmares.
Oh my god! Yeah, okay. I'll get to work on that. Let me see what I can do with that. Yeah, I don't kill you. I just make you never forget my face, and you're haunted by it. If I didn't actually kill you,
I'm not an evil character. I don't kill you, but you will never sleep well again.
Wow. I feel like Ziada has been permanently marred by the experience with like the poltergeist that she had that like has given her a deadline, and she's like, that's the power I crave. That's the power I need. I will curse people forever. Anyways. All right, so you guys square up in the shop. I'm sorry, before I forget to say it, was there anything else like magically based that you wanted to try to find in the store? Because Garn's sister does have that sort of like magic side of the shop. If there was anything you were trying to find.
I don't think anything magic. I don't think there's anything I can even really.
And I mean like healing potions.
No, not yet.
Okay, and I'm not forcing this down your throats, but I just want to remind you, you guys do have I think it's a 10 or a 20% discount. I'll have to go back and for what you've done for the Battlehammer clan, which is why the Black Iron Blades will give you that discount. Which, if it's a 10% discount and it's 50 gold for like a minor healing potion, it's 40 gold. So so that there is some savings to be found by shopping. If that's something you want to do. But
cool.
All right, so you guys wrap up with that. Novakri, we had talked, or it had come up about going back to have a conversation with the folks in the House of the Morning Lord. Is there anything that you want to do over there?
I guess I'll go. I'm trying to think if they would be able to provide any information for that. For this metal, I mean, I'll go try, but metallurgy doesn't seem to be their shtick.
I mean, it's a bunch of like scholarly clerics. Who knows? Maybe.
Okay, well, I'll head that way with an ingot.
Okay. Anybody else going there? What's everybody else doing?
I'm still hanging out at the inn waiting for our contact.
Okay.
And I'm carrying the metal,
nope.
so
no one has come. No one has come yet. So Novakri, you make your way over to the Temple of the Morning Lord, and as you come in,
I'm just also with her.
Okay.
Just carrying.
So Ziada and Novakri, you head over. There is Mishan is the name of the cleric who helped you with your issue. And as you kind of come in, you see that like it's still early enough in the morning that Mishan is up by like the sort of altar of this temple going through the morning ministrations, but he's wrapping up, and he kind of stands up and turns around and sees you, and oh Novakri, you've come back. Is there any problem or concern?
No, but we found this metal in our travels, and I was curious if you could identify it for us.
So he says, I'm happy to take a look. But I will admit I'm no metallurgist. Maybe my scribe Copper can help out. And so he, like, Mishan calls out and he's like, Copper, will you come over here? And from sort of like the back left of the shrine, you hear this voice that's like, I'm still sleeping. And Mishan very sort of like calmly and peacefully is like, I have some people who need some help, and I would love you to come out and sort of give some help to them. And he's like, I said I'm sleeping. And Mishan just kind of takes a deep breath and says, if you don't want to eat tonight, you can continue to sleep, or you could come out and help them. And there's like an elongated pause, and the voice kind of says, I'll be right there. And a few minutes later, this very disheveled, like kind of ripped pants and like very poorly sewn together kind of tunic with like a vest on gnome, like a rock gnome, comes walking out. Sorry if everybody can still hear me. Rock gnome comes walking out of the back room, and you can see that he's got like a belt on that's got like a bunch of like little tools on it, little pockets and whatnot, and he's like constantly like fidgeting with them as he comes out. And he says, All right. What is it you need me to look at? And Mishan says, this is Copper, and Copper may be able to help you. if you if you can deal with him. And he says, and he looks towards Navakri and he says, and there's been no repeats of maladies. You're still doing okay? Like everything's worked out?
Oh, I'm at the top at the top of health.
Mishan is like, good. Please know that if the house of any of you in any way, that's what we're here for. We attempt to be the warmth in this cold world that otherwise provides none. And sort of he kind of bows and he says, I have several others to continue to perform in respect towards the Morning Lord's graces, and kind of exit stage left. And so Copper's standing there just like, the guy. What do you want?
So I'm not as polite to Copper as I would have been to Michal. Said, here, we found this, identified.
He's like, listen, goddamn tall folk. Just, I can't see what's in your hand. Let me see it. And so like he reaches up this like, I like to think rock gnomes have like, their skin's not rock, but it's all gnarled and nubbed, like calloused. And it's got kind of a grayish tone to them. And he puts this like sort of like cobbled and like gnarled hand up, and like wishes to see the metal.
Tell me he's snapping his finger like, come on.
No, well, so in this instant, like he's a little interested because it seems to be that you found something that you don't know what it is. But you know that if you were just like, is this gold or is it fool's gold? He'd just be snapping his fingers like, just put it on the floor and I'll tell you in a minute, kind of thing. But in this instant, he's kind of interested.
Okay, I put it in his hand.
So he takes it and he holds it and he starts to like feel it. And then like after a few minutes, like you can tell that he's kind of annoyed first, and then he stops and he looks at it and like he kind of pauses and he sniffs it and he like tastes it with his tongue. He's like, and then he reaches into one of his pouches and pulls out like a jeweler's eye and puts it on, and you see him like staring at it and you hear him like, oh, interesting. This is different. And then like he reaches into another pouch and he pulls out like a little set of tweezers, but they're a little set of tweezers that have like a set of gears between them that so like they're like they only like pinch in like a almost like a minuscule like click kind of way, and you see him doing that, and then he kind of like takes the tip of it and scratches a little bit, and he's like, where did you say you got this?
I tell him where we got it because I can't remember where we got it.
You got it from the basket of a female Verbeeg that was looking to get laid.
What he said.
Not making it up. That's right out of the book. That's exactly what you got it from. So, he goes, I don't know why a giant would have this. I don't know why anyone would have this. This is new. This is I don't even think this has a name. He's like and all of a sudden is like super passive and is very interested. And then all of a sudden, like he's like, I need to go look in the books. Say again.
Dibs on a name.
He's like, I mean, as the finder's like, and then he stops and he says,
Novacorium.
No, he's just, and he goes, Macredius. Maybe this is what Macredius was after. And he sighs and he says, I have a partner. He and I have spent many years looking into the more unusual science, and one of these things, one of these ventures eventually split us apart. I came here, Mishan took me in, and I've helped out with the church and I do what I can. But Macredius was convinced that if we could harness things that weren't from here, and he kind of like stomps his foot, I mean here, like the material plane, if we could harness these things, we could find ways to solve problems. And then he kind of like puts his hands like making a gesture. the everlasting Rime, and he says, There's a black cabin. I know that sounds daunting, but it's a cabin, and it's black, and it's in the middle of nowhere, so it's a black cabin, but it's still creepy. The McCready is set up off north of here, and I know that he's been researching and working on a number of things that are not of this plane, but his research methodologies and his testing didn't sit well with me, so we split ways. But he might have more answers if you're so inclined, and that's all I can tell you. And also, if you really want to name this, you're probably going to have to beat him to it, because if he's already named it, then he beat you to it. But, I mean, whoever gets published first, I mean, that's just the way acumen works. But, all right, any other questions?
Where to the north?
The door. The
Or
door
to the
to the
northwest.
north. He says, it's... I guess maybe northwest. I mean, it's north. If you head towards, he goes. I'll tell you what. Give me a moment, and I can get a map. And so he gets a map out, and he goes back to his room, and he comes out, and he's sort of got a map of the wilderness, and he kind of makes a mark on it. And he says, "It's approximately here. I haven't been there at this point. A year, 2 years. I don't know how long I've been here." The rhyme makes me forget time, and that's not a rhyming mechanism, although it should be. But that's what he says, and so I will get you guys that map. But it is the map that is outside of the 10 Towns map, and I don't have that ready yet because I didn't think you guys were going to do this tonight.
Okay. Yeah, it's just he points us to it, so it's like. I was thinking the same thing as Mike. It's like, now that we have that, we've got a backup in the in his compass thing, and then we've also got like the knowledge of where we're going.
Yeah, so I will. I'm gonna give you guys like just a quick peek behind the curtain with this. There is clearly a much bigger map of 10 Towns. And you guys have started to learn about some of the locations they're in. You guys heard about this problem with the goblins. You're going to find out more sooner or later. You had heard, now you've heard about this black cabin. You've heard about the tribes that clearly, Ziada needs to deal with. And I think there were a couple other things that you had heard, like, come next week, you will have a map that provides you more of an understanding of distances. Sorry, everybody. Discord had cut off. Come next week, you'll have a better map. Maybe I'll send it out during this before next session, so you'll have a better idea. But there are several locations you guys started to hear about that you're going to need to know some distances and concepts about. That will be the next thing. So, because you're right on the cusp of sort of moving into Chapter 2 of this adventure. But that's what you get out of this particular meeting, unless there's something else you want to do or say.
No, I think that's good for me anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we have a solid lead, and I'm good to go with that.
Yeah, that was a pretty good call.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. So, is the goal to go back to like the Northlook and just hang out until like somebody comes, or what do you guys want to do?
I think it's to only. I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but if this is like something that we want to kind of put as a priority, that's fine. I was thinking if we stay for a bit of time, and then maybe if we don't hear from anyone, we go check it out and then just say like, hey, we've got stuff we're going to be doing too. So if this is kind of not happening,
and I will tell you that the sheriff basically said that to you. He's like, I don't know why she's not here yet. I don't know what she's doing. But if you have stuff and things you need to do, go do them, right? Like, go do what you got to do. We'll catch up afterwards. I'm just psyched that you're interested in helping us out with this. That's all.
Okay, and so it wasn't anything where it's like,
time sensitive, no.
Or
it didn't seem to be.
Yeah. Now, is there? I mean, was there anything that would be odd about? Because I'm just wondering how much time has passed with what we've been doing, and if it's odd that it's kind of something where it's like she hasn't shown up yet.
Give me an insight check. And anybody who wants to give me an insight can give me an insight check.
Oh shit! 23.
Okay. All right. Great. So the Marshall didn't seem particularly upset or concerned about it. He was just sort of like, I don't know why she's not here. It's like, so I work in an environment where people have varied schedules. And so just because somebody shows up and works from like 7 to 4, there's somebody else that may work from like 5 to 1 or 6 to 2 or whatever, or 6 to 3 or however that works out. And so it may just be that, like, as a person who's in charge, he doesn't know what his people's schedules are. He just knows that when they're not around, it's annoying because he can't call. So you kind of get the feeling that that's the case. It's not, it doesn't seem like he was particularly concerned that she wasn't there, or that like her non like presence was indicative of anything beyond just like, we could get this shit knocked out right now. Not here kind of thing. That's all.
Okay, so it's not like she's not in for her office hours. Why not? Is there something wrong, or so? Okay.
Yeah, maybe today was her AWS day, where like she doesn't work on Tuesdays, but she's there like 6 other days a week or something.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well then, I think we just say we might want to stop in and just say, all right, well, we're gonna go, and so just leave that with everyone's bar buddy. I want to say Sefik, but it's like, no, that's the guy we have to kill.
As you guys kind of square up and you're about to head out with that, I'm going to cut back to Hrothgar really fast. And Hrothgar, you're kind of hanging out. There's a fire going. Like, you're not the only one that has come in and sort of like tries to keep warm by the fire and not deal with the cold. And as you've been sitting there for, like, I'm going to say probably you guys to do all of this, maybe an hour or two at most. So like it'll be, like 2.5 hours before you come back. And Hrothgar's just sort of sitting there biding his time. Maybe he's like, sharpening his pole, doing whatever. Scramsax comes over to you and says, I don't suppose you need any equipment there, adventurer. I can give you a good deal.
No, I'm pretty much all set right now.
He says, I offer some really, really good items if you're interested.
Kind of really good items are you referring to?
What kind of items do you need?
Like I said, I don't really need anything at the moment, personally.
That's why we're having a conversation. What kind of items would you want then?
Full plate armor.
He goes, ooh. I guess I could look into that. But how much do you want to pay for full plate armor?
Not a lot.
I just imagine, like, because of the delayed pause, that you were like typing in how much does full plate armor cost. He says
it's ridiculously expensive. I don't remember the exact amount, but I looked it up not that long ago.
He says
1,500.
Yeah.
He says, I could work something out. I could try to find some. It may be used, but I could try to find some. But I might need a favor from you. Would you be willing to trade or do a deal in that sense? In the sense that I get you what you want for a discounted price, but that you have to give me a favor.
What favor?
Dude, all you have to do is give him a handy for plate armor. I mean, that's what I'm hearing right now.
Do you want a BJ, an HJ, or a ZJ? You
Well,
don't know
do you
what it
want
is? You
plate
can't afford
mail,
it, big man.
chain mail, or
And the NJ doesn't go for that.
Yeah, no, it's Hrothgar, so the HJ doesn't go for the HJ. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, no, he says he's being cagey, but he's like, if I can track down what you need when you come back, would you be willing to do a favor? No questions asked.
It depends on what the favor is.
He says, that's fair. What if I told you that if I can get you the item you want, I will give you the option of accepting the favor or not before we accept the trade? Is that agreeable?
Why don't you tell me what the favor is that you're fishing for?
I don't have something to trade with you right now, so why would I give you more information than I've made a very good business here. And he turns around and he's like, Toby, get back in the goddamn kitchen. You're not allowed out in front. And you see this kid go like, oh, and run back in the kitchen. He says, I made a very good business here, dealing in both what people need, dealing in what people want, dealing in secrets, and in making sure I'm not dead. So, if you're interested, let me know. And if you're not interested, I'll sell to somebody else.
Sounds like needful things.
I mean, you can do an insight check. Just reminding characters they have that.
I was actually going to do that anyway.
And my
a whole 3.
Well, I was just going to say, you got to tell me what you get. Because money is frozen, but you roll a 3. So with a wait, did you say 3 or 23?
3.
3. All right. Yeah. I mean, you feel like he's not. I mean, he's being legitimate. Like it doesn't like. Even with a 3, you don't get the feeling of like skeeziness or like. It feels like he is a person that clearly operates like business wise in the shadows. And I will like metagamingly tell you guys that part of this guy's gig is he will rent you things for a discount price, but then charges you interest and then like basically takes all your gold. And when you're like, he couldn't do that, this guy is like I think you guys actually already saw it. He is a pretty formidable like fighter / enforcer. So like he can, and that's his racket. Like at some point you will clearly surpass him, but his racket is like adventurers show up and need to go off the snow, and he's like, oh, do you need some sled dogs and some dogs? No, yeah, okay, yeah, you can have that for it. Okay, yeah. And then they come back and he's like, here's the interest.
Was
and
this
it's
the
like,
deal with all the renting stuff? Was it him?
No, it wasn't him. There
were other rental things too.
Yeah, there were other rental facilities. And you guys heard about that, but like this guy came up to you when you were first there, and he's like, do you guys want to rent stuff? And you guys were just like rightfully were like, no, we're good. We'll figure out our own shit. Because I'm like, you guys are so fucked. Like it's one of those things. If you came back and you were first or second level, he'd mop the floor with you and he'd take all your money, and then fortunately you're past that now. You are past that.
Blow him up with whale oil.
just hey, do you know what we did to a mammoth? We're about to mammoth you. So anyways, so yeah, so Hrothgar, you have an offer on the table for potentially full plate at a discounted price, but there may be a catch. There may be something else involved with it. And so Scramsax basically said, it's a great and horrible name all at the same time. But Scramsax basically says, think about it. I'm here. I'm always here. And then he goes back. And you see like the back door opens up and he's like, Toby, I fucking told you, get back there. And he's like, Arr! And the door closes. And shortly thereafter, everybody comes back and you guys are all at the North Look. And no messenger raisins have come yet. What do you do?
I think that's enough time. I think we check in with the sheriff and then head out east. If we're not getting this, maybe today, we'll
Okay.
swing back on it.
Okay, and so I'll say it's kind of like it's starting to get towards like early afternoon, so maybe like 10:30, 11 o'clock at this point. You've taken care of your business. If you guys all head back over toward the sort of town hall / like militia barracks that are there, the sergeant that was there when you came in, still on duty, and he's like, if you're back to see Marshall, he left. He had to take care of some business down on the south end of town. Is there a message I can take from the heroes to leave to him? I apologize for making you. And again, this is part of like your reputation is starting to get known. Like people are like, those are the fucking assholes that killed that white bloody moose. And then someone else is, did you hear they killed a fucking mammoth? And people are like, that's crazy. Which the DM is also going, that's crazy. So so like people are starting to know about kind of thing.
Well, nothing. We didn't just kill a mammoth. We blew the shit out of it.
Well, so here's the thing. You guys told that story however you told that story. I'm just saying that, like, in game mechanics wise, you killed a creature that was worth 2,300 experience points. Just saying. That's
they're saying, wow, that's amazing. We're like, that's Thursday.
Yeah, that was last Thursday. Deal with it. By the way, I know that I probably said it during it, but like that was probably one of the most cool things I've seen all of you guys do together, and it was incredible. Like honestly, if those two wolves hadn't shown up and done like like the frost breath and whatever, and that was the nasty surprise that like not only had I planned, but the book basically was like, if they do this, this is what happens. You set it up for for the mammoth, and I was like, I can't do anything but make this thing just get like exploded to death. Like this is awesome, great. So I beaucoup praise for that. That was definitely a way to deal with that bullshit that I did not see coming. You guys did a great job of it. So, but anyways, was there a message you wanted to leave for the sheriff before you guys take off? And then the next question is, where are you taking off to?
Send any correspondence to the North Look. We're heading to Bremen. And then we're heading to Bremen.
Okay. Okay. He says, okay, all right, you guys are going to Bremen. I will make sure that like any information either goes to the North Look or travels by Raisin to get to you.
Excellent.
Perfect.
I'll keep my grapevine ready.
All right. So with that, I think that what I'll do is I'll have you guys make some rolls for that walk to Bremen, and I might give you some brief introductory information. But I do have to take a quick pause. So I'll be BRB. I'll be right back.
I think Tom's got a bladder smaller than my 5-year-old.
Or bottles bigger than... And that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of trailed off there.
No, that was it. Also, if Tom's bladder was bigger than your 5-year-old, he would be having problems.
No, I said
5-year-olds are pretty big.
It's smaller than my 5-year-old's bladder.
Well, my point is, if it were bigger than that, that would hurt.
It's a fair point.
At least Tom would be here forgetting shit for us.
Yeah.
Alright, so I don't know if we're doing anything with the ring, but we've got a lake monster and pirates. Maybe just the lake monster, then swing back here, take care of the goblins once we hit level 4. I think I get an aura. That might be when the save aura comes in.
I don't know. I still think it's gonna be a bit. I know we're right there, but I feel like we've been right there.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you.
So I am back, and I will tell you for a fact that when you drink a water jug worth of like tea and water, and then drink another one, I don't care how big your goddamn bladder it is, you gotta go. It just is what happens.
Not if it was the size of a 5-year-old.
It's smaller than my.
You know what? Maybe it is. Maybe I'm reverting. Maybe I'm just going back to being a 5-year-old, which means the world's going to get so much more awesome soon. Like I want to go back to being in love with dinosaurs the way that my 2-year-old is. Right? But we'll see. We'll see.
You're not.
No.
I feel
No. Here's the thing. I'm still in love with dinosaurs. I just don't feel it's the same level. That's all. Okay. So for some reason, probably because let me see if I'm still connected to the internet. Oh, I am. Why? Oh, there it is. All right. Perfect. All right. So Bremen. Let's pull up Bremen.
I was off. That aura isn't till 6th level. Damn it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 82 more sessions.
Okay, so 82 more sessions. All right. So, well, again, it depends. Like, you know what? This is a good point. Like, I'm going to take a brief pause here as you see the map of Bremen, and I want to touch base and say, do you guys want me to continue with what the book considers milestones, or do you want me to do actual EXP as the protocol? And I'm happy to do either. I don't want anyone to feel shortchanged. And then after last week, when TJ, you were telling me that you're just like, it's frustrating to like put this much into it and then not get a level out of it. I was like, well, it's fair that I should go back and do the numbers, and that's what I did. So, what do you guys think?
I really don't care.
I mean, obviously, I want to have everything just be more, just more levels. But yeah, I'm having fun. Like just one of the things with like the milestones is, like it feels like, and I haven't played with milestones yet, but it's like it feels like it's something where the milestone would have gotten accomplished with the woolly mammoth regardless of the fight. So like when we finished basically how I was joking about it, like we figured something out, and so like doing all of that would have got us the milestone, but then we kind of risked ourselves to like fight the woolly mammoth, and then as far as milestones, I'm guessing
it should maybe counted as 2 at that point or something. Yeah,
something where it's like because I don't think we need to necessarily go into like complete XP and like get to that.
You're right.
But like
right.
if that were something where like that sort of thing feels like we didn't get anything for that fight specifically,
So I will say this is that like the way that this book is written is based around a number of various ways of solving a situation, and the book counts on you solving it certain ways. And so one of those ways was that like back with like the moose, that you didn't actually fight the moose but figured a different, but that's not what you did. Or when you faced the mammoth, you basically made friends with the mammoth and said, that's how we deal with this. And so unfortunately, whatever, you guys went a different tact with that. And I with that in mind, that's why I was like, I really feel like I need to go back and look at the experience, and when you look at the experience points associated with monsters of the level that those were, especially with, you know, the additional frost druid that you guys fought, etc. Even with like me being like that she's engaged in this and she doesn't have whatever, like you guys still fought a fucking frost druid and you guys fought a mammoth, and I just was like, it makes sense that there should be a reward for that. And so that's when I added it all. And like, I didn't want to give excess numbers to having that fifth party member being Daryl, because like Daryl was a critical part with the moose battle. Daryl has been a critical part of several battles leading up. But if he's not going to be here now, it makes no sense he would continue to be part of the math. So that's why I was like, what is a party of 4 to hit 4th level, and what is a party of 5? And so for a party of 4, you guys were literally like 200 points away. And for a party of 5, you're like, you know, I don't know, 1,600 points or 1,700 points away. And I was like...
How much experience was the mammoth? You said it was what?
2,300 points. I'm quoting this, but I don't... I'm pretty sure. It was 2,300 experience. It was a level 6 creature.
Yeah.
Challenge rating 6.
Because like in the and I know it's different with like adventures and stuff, but with 23, because like I'm on the player's handbook, it says that when you have 2,700 experience, that's level 4.
Yeah, but remember, experience is divided evenly between all party members. So it's 2,300 points, but it's broken up 4, and in this case, 4.5 ways. So, I mean, like, so if it's a party of 4, everybody would get 500, almost 600 points of experience for defeating a mammoth with a party of 4. With 5 members, you're even less. And so that's why I'm saying that, like, with that in mind, whatever quest you guys chose to do next, and again, this game is very much like, you know, a BioWare game where, oh, did you just come back to town? There's 80 for you to consider. Whatever quest you chose next was I, as the DM, I'm like, you guys are going to achieve level 4, and then we'll move on from there. So
we also just, I don't know if this would have mattered or would ever been calculated into it, also killed that wolf in that battle.
Oh yeah, no, I like.
Okay,
so I went back through my notes and added everything up, and the total for a 4-party team to achieve 4th level was 10,300. That was roughly what the number was, and you guys came in just shy of. That's where you were. Like, you were just shy of that. But then I'm like, as the DM, like, you're supposed to, for role playing, you're supposed to do a lot for like critical thinking, you're supposed to do a lot for etc. And so that's why I was like, so considering that, you definitely beat it, but because you're potentially a 5-party team up until where we're at right now, when the 5th party member was like, I'm just the innkeeper now, don't worry about me, unless it's a specific thing. I was like, one more quest, whatever that quest is, whether it's like stab the dog and you win, or it's like go fight the big thing, that will get you 4th level, and then we'll figure it out there. So, and my plan is from here on is to base milestones against total party experience. And if it seems like we're close one way or another, I'm going to grant it to you guys, because I don't want to make you feel like you're being of something.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, like I think we've been saying, it's like, you know, we're still all having fun and everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, so I guess the question is, like, does that make sense? Like, that makes sense, right? Like, I'm not just talking like crazy numbers and people are like, that's crazy, right?
I don't know.
All right. Well,
I mean, it's kind of like I guess we'll see.
Yeah, all right. So
as
you
we
guys,
move.
you guys have made it to Bremen, and as you come to Bremen, there are a couple things that you see on the map, and they are on the map because they're they're points of interest. And so you see that in the center there is the Five Tavern Center, which means there's 5 taverns right around there. You see the town hall, which looks like a town hall that you see everywhere. And you also see buried treasure. Buried treasure is not actually buried treasure, the name of the local inn. But as you guys start to come into town, and it seems desolate. Like you can see that there's fires lit and there's some lights in houses as you kind of come in and you start to make your way towards like the town center. But as you get closer and closer to, you hear sort of off to your left as you come in the creaking of the docks and the sound of voices sort of like barking out to each other. What do you do?
What is the snowflake score for this town?
That's a good question. I should have told you.
Yeah, you should have.
You know what? So first of all, shut up. Second of
No
all,
X, no XP, no help. What kind of DM?
Second of all, first of all, shut up. But second of all, I'm sorry. I need to tell you this. So friendliness, 3 snowflakes. Services, 1 snowflake, which means you're not going to get a lot of this. It's one of the remote. And then comfort, 2 snowflakes. So you can expect to, like, if you go into a place to get a bed and not just, a rag thrown on the floor. And maybe a good meal. You don't know, but it feels like that's probably the way.
I'm just, for reference, I don't know if we got good mead. I'm going to guess like 211 on good mead.
I think I told you, but hold on. Let me go back and look it up.
You may have.
Dugan's Hole. Wait, so Dugan's Hole was 111. That place sucked.
Oh, wow.
It's East Haven. Hold on.
They seem friendly enough.
Good mead was 212. So services was a 1. Comfort and friendliness was a 2.
Bullshit. That fucking goes for a 2? No. I'm thinking the other place. Yeah. Dugan's Hole sucked. All right, fair.
I'm like, no, I think spot on. I think people give
that's fair. No,
yeah.
I can get the comfort. All right, so that's what we can kind of expect here. Like a bed.
So yeah, so comfort, friendliness, like they may not go over the top, but like people will be like if anybody poked their head out the window and saw you guys coming in, they'd be like, "Oh, the heroes!" kind of thing. But it's a cold, wintry night, and by the time you guys get there, it's end of the day kind of thing. But you guys definitely hear, like, maybe end of the day, like maybe it's like 5 o'clock kind of thing, 4 or 5 o'clock. You guys hear shouting, not shouting, but like yelling from the docks that are over to your left.
I think we could take a stroll over that way, check it out on our way to find lodging. We can check this out first.
We need to look out that way anyway. Maybe the people who are at the water might know about the lake monster anyway. They're probably the ones who are most knowledgeable, or at least most affected.
All right. You guys make your way through town, and as you start to approach the docks, do you approach the sort of north dock or the south dock? Northern dock or southern dock?
Oh, where are we coming into town?
So you guys came from the north. You're heading south as you come into town. So would you head towards the sort of the upper dock or the lower dock? Yep, that's the way you're coming.
And so I'd say I would say the northern one would be the first one on our path.
Yeah, and plus we would see like where the yelling is coming from as we're passing it. So if we don't see anything and we see a commotion down here, maybe like check that out as we're there.
Okay, fair enough. So you guys make your way through town and past this sort of like big house on the hill, which is what you just drew a line through kind of thing. And you make your way towards that northerly dock. As you come closer towards the shore of what's known as Mare Dulan, which is the lake that Bremen sits next to. And again, lake is kind of like a weird term for the area because this area connects to the sea of shifting ice, or moving ice, but it also connects to like several other things. So is it a lake? Is it saltwater? Is it freshwater? What you know as local residents, people who lived in the area, you know this is just as good as anywhere else, a place to catch and to fish for knucklehead trout, as well as other species. But that's about it. So as you progress and you move your way down, you see that the lake, or Mare Dulan, all around the docks themselves are frozen, and that along the docks, especially the ones that you can see, which are the first ones you're coming towards, rowboats have literally like either frozen into or on top of the ice and can't go anywhere. You see that there are, as you start to come closer, you see that between two of the boats, two of these like sort of frozen in place and time boats, are these two small humanoid figures that seem to be arguing with each other. But up on the dock is another small humanoid figure in a gray like hood made of hides, and as you get closer, you see there's like this like gnarled, nubby nose that sticks out from inside the hood itself. You can't see much more beyond the face, and this little stout figure stamps its feet and says, "Get your catches up here! Get your catches up here! You won't be paid." Everybody stands in absolute silence and doesn't respond.
Was that directed at us?
No, it was directed at the two smaller figures that you would see.
Okay. I guess kind of just take a look and see what's going on for now.
Right. As you guys kind of move closer, and again, I'm not moving you guys towards danger. I'm just saying you're moving towards the sound of these voices and whatnot.
Yep.
This gnarled nose in this grayed hide hood turns towards you guys and looks and kind of like stops for a minute and then pulls the hood back a little bit to reveal the super big caterpillar like browed eye, and like the nose is even bigger than you thought, and it's this dwarf. Doesn't seem to have like facial hair, but his hair is all braided and knotted back, and he sees you, and he stomps his foot again, and he says, "Good, you're here. Get to it, Ingrats. Those fish ain't gonna catch themselves. There's your boat."
Come again?
I wave my
Those
hand.
are the private words of the Virgin Man. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but that's a great line from.
I wave my hand. We are not the fishermen you are looking for.
You're not the fisherman you think. So like if nobody responds, he says, "I was told fishermen were coming. Told they would come and they'd take the burly ram and they'd go catch me some of them knucklehead trout. Get out past the docks, catch me some fish, bring them back and I'll pay you handily." They ain't
No,
gonna
that
catch
ain't me.
themselves.
Not us. We're here for the other fishing issue. We've heard there's been some issues with trying to fish.
He goes, like, at first he goes, did the Red Talons hire you? Are you here to put me out of business? I'll get you. And he starts to like reach for he starts to reach for like a dagger or like
immediately
an axe.
My sword is drawn and upon him.
And
I always have my halberd up, so.
I imagine
like not killing him.
He says this and like starts fumbling at his belt, and Ziada just is points the sword. Meanwhile, in the background, Hrothgar's just like, do I need to point the fucking halberd anymore? I mean, like, it's always pointed forward. And like, he pauses, and he says, whoa, 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 whoa. My name's Barrelbore, Grits Barrelbore, and I run these docks, and I make sure there's a fair wage paid, fishes catched. Why do you folk with your weapons and your speak come here? I got hired. I was told there were more fishermen coming, which is why I said you should take out the burly ram and the prong goat.
Are your eyes as gnarly as your nose? Because do we look like fishermen?
He says, you all look like fishermen until you're not. Give me an insight check.
A whole 4. I went up 1 point.
I'm throwing him one out there because I'm just confused.
Hrothgar, you're just like, this guy seems like a fucking tragedy and I should kill him. And Ziada, you go, this guy's drunk.
Oh. Boring. Alright. Let's go. Useless.
He says, as you start to leave, he goes, wait. You're not here to catch fish?
I don't know if there's anything else we could have said to make it more fucking clear that we were not here to catch fish.
Because I don't know why you're being so unclear with me. Listen, we're having some problems with something in the water. It's not a fish, I'll tell you that.
It's gonna be bodies soon. Jesus Christ.
What I can tell you, it's big. And I don't know if you want to believe it or not, but I've heard it talks. By the way, that sounded like somebody just pulled up like a knife or like a dagger out of something. It was like, ka-ting! That was like as far as like the game goes, I just characters like, stab, I'm done with you kind of thing.
I heard plates.
I heard plates.
No, well, first of all, Nuvakri, please don't worry. Second of all, did you just pull up like an iron plate for like your nose? That's crazy. But anyways, but yeah, he's like,
how do they fix shit up there in Maine?
He just goes, he's like, listen, there are 2 boats here. I already told you what they're called. And now I'm drunk and I can't remember. By the way, the DM says the burly ram and the prong goat. He says, if you want to take him out and try to deal with that problem, everybody here would be very, very much obliged. If you don't, you should go catch fish for me and I'll pay you for it. Otherwise, who are you? I need a nap.
Who would be the most obliged if we were to take care of this? We may have some discussions real quick.
He goes, I don't know what you mean. Like, do you mean, like, am I going to be happy? If I'm going to be happy, I'm happy. You mean other people be happy? Then I'm happy too. I don't know.
Thanks. This has been
enlightening.
And then we leave.
Dang.
It's just been.
It's
It
just
has
been.
happened, and
All
now
right,
it's in the past.
so for just sake of conversation, at the end of this dock there are two boats, and clearly I have told you their names: the Burly Ram and the Prong. Those boats have been offered to you to apparently originally go fishing for fish, so you paid for them. But you clearly were like, that's not the shit that we're here for, you dum dum. And Grinsk was like, what? But you found out what you had to find out. I will say two things. One, if you want to take these boats out to go explore Mer Dualen and the potential locality of a, I don't know, sea serpent, monster, sea monster is, you guys can do that. And it may
You said the water was frozen.
So the water is frozen by the docks, but you can push the boats out past that to go out. Should you do that, the boats are stable and steady. But if anybody wants to give me a perception check for doing that, they can do it. Novakari, with a 21, you see that the pronged goat, the second boat, you had the burly ram and the pronged goat, that there appears to be a curious bite mark on the prow of the boat where the goat's head is. And by curious, I mean you're not quite sure what kind of thing could have done that. But the boat itself is fine. What do you guys want to do? Or as it is 11:45 right now, do we want to take a pause and say we'll pick up here next week?
That sounds good to me.
I think so. I think just the only thing is, do we want to talk to anyone else in town before setting out to, see if anyone knows anything, what we should be prepared for, and how happy people will be if we go out and, remove this issue for them.
Plus, you did say it was getting late. Do we want to be trying to do this at night?
Right. We walked in at like 5. We got to go to the buried treasure or whatever it is. Or
remember, 5 Tavern Center means 5 taverns at the center of town that you could go talk to.
Yeah, but I take that as a tavern, not an inn.
And also,
they
have a cooler name
you're
than
right.
that?
I'm sorry. If you're a place to sleep, then the buried treasure is the place. But if you're looking for a place to talk to locals, 5 Tavern Center offers 5 different locations, and then you have the town hall, and then you the buried treasure.
Oh, okay. So yeah, then I think I'll be hitting up the taverns next time.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we want to set up in the inn so that we're good, and then kind of if we want to get out there to the taverns before it's it's too late, see if we can get information from people.
All right, Novakri. Give me a will save.
Right, never mind, we're just going to be fighting.
One sec. Will save or wisdom save?
Will save. I'm sorry, wisdom save. Again, different mechanics, different versions. I apologize.
Okay. Is this I get advantage on wisdom saves?
Well, if you get advantage on wisdom, roll again. with that roll, you are fine. But there is this like keening, scratching sound at the back of your mind that just creates this distraction that so far you've been able to hold off, but you can only feel like it can only get worse from here. And it's like a headache. It's a headache that just won't subside. But all right, so you guys are in Bremen. Good luck, everybody. Let's see what happens. All right. Is there any other questions, concerns, whatever, before we sort of go off for tonight?
Not at the moment.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right.
Valkyrie's dying, but that's all right.
Well, is she dying or
Nothing
just
unusual.
losing her mind?
Yeah, I know.
We'll see.
That's been since the beginning, and you've outlasted 2 characters so far. 3 if you count retirement.
Oh my God, it's true. It's gross, but it's true. But all right, well, so good stuff. You guys again have uncovered more and more and more. So I'm excited again for next week because like who knows what you guys will see and do. Good stuff. All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
Cool deal. Thank you, Tom.
Alrighty. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Later, yo.
Later, guys.
Night.
Later.